ahead and lie down onto your back. If it's difficult for you to get down to the floor, or if you find the floor too firm, you're welcome to perform these lessons on a bed or a couch. For some of you, you want to position your arms on a pillow, so I'm going to demonstrate this with Anya. Go ahead and rest your arms here on a pillow to keep your arms in a more neutral position. But for some of you, you might find it more comfortable without a pillow. Make sure your head is in neutral. So for Anya, we decided to raise her head up just a little bit so that her spine is aligned all the way up through her neck. And you're welcome to bend your knees or have them long for any part of the lesson. If you have back pain, you might find it more comfortable to have your knees bent. So this lesson is going to focus on breathing and pelvic undulations. So to begin with, notice how you're breathing. What parts of yourself are breathing? Are you breathing more into your chest or more into your belly? Is your breath jerky and short, or is it rhythmic and more steady? What is your breathing pattern? And with each inhale and exhale, notice what parts of yourself are holding on and what parts of yourself move. Are you holding on anywhere in your jaw, your eye muscles, your toes, your inner thighs? Your gluteal muscles, your shoulders? Just notice if anywhere in your body you may be holding a little bit more than you need to, which may be possibly even constricting the movement of our breath. When we have significant pain, what happens is our breathing tends to become more inhibited, particularly in our chest and upper ribs or wherever we're experiencing the pain. So this lesson is going to help you to welcome your breath into these areas. So to begin with, go ahead and bend your knees and stand your feet a comfortable distance apart from one another. About a hip's width apart. And you may want to play around a little bit with where is most comfortable, where you have the most strength, so that it's not too close to your buttocks muscles and not too far away. Find a place that feels good. Optionally for this lesson, you can use bubble wrap or a towel rolled up like this and placed under the lumbar spine. So Anya is going to demonstrate how to insert this under her low back. Go ahead and position it so it's comfortable. So it's going to take up the space under your low back. And if it's too big, you could unroll it a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to do very small pelvic tilts. It's not a lift, it's a roll. Gently push your feet gently into the floor, just enough to roll your pelvic bone backwards, and your tailbone raises up just a little bit in the direction of the ceiling. Exhale, release, and do this a very, very small range. Notice if you're contracting anywhere in your body as you go to perform this movement, and if so, then do less. Breathing, inhale as you roll up, exhale as you release. Have it feel really good. Push your feet into the floor just enough to roll your pelvic bone backwards, and your tailbone rolls upward towards the ceiling. That's right. Exhale and release. Do these very small and slow pelvic undulations. This is a great way to relax your entire nervous system. Go very small in a very small range. Slow pelvic undulations are a great way to relax your nervous system. See if you could coordinate it with your breathing. As you roll up, you inhale, and as you release, you exhale. Stay in a very small range, and if you're using a prop, such as a towel or the bubble wrap, allow your low back to gently push into the prop as you roll up, and then release. Go very small, staying in a very small range. Have it feel really good. And do this in a way so that you could do this for a really long time without getting tired. Go very slow and allow your body to be carried as it wishes, almost like you're getting a very gentle and small massage across the floor. Throughout all of these lessons, be mindful to keep attention to just a few Feldenkrais principles. One is to do only as much as your body is a full yes to, and no more. That means you have to really listen to your body and stay within your range of comfort and ease. And you're welcome to rest at any time with any of these movements, even before I suggest to do so. Okay, take a rest. Another principle is to keep your awareness on doing every movement with the least amount of effort possible. This is about quality, not quantity. Now, if you want, you can put one hand on your belly and just invite your breath to expand into this region, to expand into your diaphragm. And as you do so, you might notice that your hand gently rises up towards the ceiling and then back down. Do this several times and notice if your low back expands closer to the ground as well. Expand your breath even more. Allow your breath to carry you through the movement. And on the next exhale, take a pause. Now I want you to think about coordinating the movement of your belly breathing with the movement of the pelvic tilting. So what that means is that as you inhale, your back will slightly flatten. And as you exhale, your pelvis will tilt gently downward and your low back may arch ever so slightly. This is a tiny pelvic undulation where the pelvic bone rolls up as your back flattens. And as your pelvic bone rolls back down, your belly expands. Do it slowly, and if you get tripped up or confused, just pause and come back to it. So we're coordinating the movement of the belly breathing, with the movement of the pelvis. Gently rolling up and rolling back down. Have this movement feel really good. Have it feel nourishing and fluid. These pelvic undulations are a great way to relax the nervous system. It's a great place to come back to when you're having pain, low back pain, neck pain, or you just want to get back to your core. Continue this movement at any pace. Remember, you're welcome to stop at any time. As you roll your pelvis up, notice what your chin does. Does your chin tilt ever so slightly upward as if you were saying yes? And then ever so slightly downwards. See if you could encourage this movement ever so slightly of the yes motion of your head and chin. Coordinate it really well with the movement of your pelvis and your breath. How can you do it taking the work off your body even more, making it even less effort? Is it possible to have your feet help you with this motion? And if so, make sure to refrain from over-contracting any of the muscles in your feet and legs as you explore how your feet could very gently help you with the pelvic undulations. So Anya has expressed to me that she's having a lot of pain today. That's why she's taking care of her body and staying in a smaller range of motion, which is perfectly fine. Listen to your body. If it feels like you could go even further, go ahead and move yourself through a bigger range. See if you could feel yourself lifting just one more vertebra as you do the pelvic tilt, and then release it back down, one at a time. And once again, if you're in pain, you could take a rest here, and it might even be helpful just to think through the motion rather than actually doing it. See if you can naturally let your bottom jaw drop away from your top. Just have the intention to separate the bottom jaw. Allow your lips to part as your head tilts slightly upwards. And then take a rest. You could rest with your legs long or your knees bent, whichever is more comfortable. These rest periods allow your nervous system to incorporate the changes that have occurred, the new learning. And during these rest breaks, notice the subtle shifts that are occurring inside of you. Pay attention to the differences in the space below your back, the space between your low back and the floor. How is your breathing now? Where do you notice your breathing? You may notice that there's times when you find yourself falling off into a doze or a gentle sleep during these lessons. And that's okay, because it most likely means that your body is sleep deprived, and it's really in need of a proper night's sleep. And for many people, a proper night's sleep becomes much more possible after a Feldenkrais lesson. So go ahead and bend your knees and stand your feet. And we'll continue the same movement that we were doing before. Make sure you find your feet at a comfortable distance, about hips width apart. And we're going to continue that same pelvic tilting, using your breath into your abdomen and gently tilting your head upward ever so slightly as you roll up, and then releasing it all together, coordinating the movement through your legs, through your feet, tilting your chin ever so slightly upward, and then releasing it all together, coordinating the movement through your feet, through your pelvis, through your breath. Expanding your belly all the way up into your chin as if you were saying yes. And then let it all go. Make sure that you're refraining from straining your neck. Don't go any further than is comfortable. Rolling up on the inhale. Exhale and release. Next time you roll up your pelvis and your chin tilts upward and your bottom jaw separates from your top jaw, leave your head and your jaw where it is. And then continue doing the pelvic tilt while your head is stationary there. That's right. I know this might seem awkward the first couple times. Just do the pelvic tilts, keeping your head upward. So it's sort of like your body below your neck is being pulled downward while your head stays stationary. Do just 2 more. Tilting up and down, resting your head where it is. And then the next time you roll up your pelvis, go ahead and take your head and jaw down with you as you release. And once again, bring everything together, rolling up and rolling down. And see if it's actually easier now to roll your head and neck. Make sure you don't force it. Go a little bit less with the head and neck. Literally let the movement of your head and neck be carried. Again, I want to air caution to doing a little less work in the neck musculature. For many of us, we're not even aware when we're overcontracting or overusing these muscles. So I'm going to continue to draw your attention to these areas. So it's the breath and the pelvic motion that is allowing the head and the neck to gently be carried. And a bit of intention around the movement of the head and the jaw. Your mind is the most powerful thing. Good work. Ladies, now do it a couple more times. Have it feel really good. Allowing your breath and pelvis to be the driver. Do it just one more time and then take a rest. You could rest with your legs long or with your knees bent, your choice, whichever is most comfortable. If you have low back pain, it's often a good idea to keep your knees bent. And feel how the floor is coming up to support your weight right now. Feel if more of you is letting go and softening, expanding. Go ahead and bend your knees, stand your feet, and this time you can put one hand onto your chest. If you have one hand that is less painful, use that one on the upper part of yourself, being sure to keep your upper arm and your elbow supported on the ground or on a pillow. Always listen to your body and allow your hand to rise and fall with each breath into the chest. So think about now bringing your breath into your chest and keeping your belly more or less still and silent. Find a comfortable place for your hand to rest on your chest. And allow your hand to be carried with each breath into your chest. For many of you, you may find that it's difficult to breathe into just your chest as we're so accustomed to breathing into our belly. And this is because for many of us, we're very locked in our habitual patterns. Anxiety and stress, this limits the movement in our chest, not to mention hunching over our computer all day. But just with your hand on your chest and just with the awareness of this area here, start to expand the breath into the chest area. You'll notice that your ribs separate like a fan from one another with each inhale and each exhale. Now this is optional. To begin to give yourself a very gentle massage, keeping your fingers very soft, doing barely any movements of your finger. And I suggest go to the sternum or the chest bone and find one area between two ribs and start at that space, right where you feel a gap between the two ribs, and make a tiny itty bitty circle, almost as if you were tracing a dime. And very gently take that circle outwards, like more in the direction of your shoulders. Keeping your fingers soft. And then go to the next rib, either up or down from where you are, and do the same thing. Just increase your awareness of this area between your ribs. So find two ribs and massage the area that's in between them. And of course, if your hand gets tired, you're welcome to take a rest at any time and just let your hand rest on your chest or at your side. And now just rest your hand on your chest and take a breath and see if it's now easier to expand your ribs with each breath. If there's more room or capacity in your chest right now with each breath. Remember not to force it, it's just an intention. Many health practitioners tell their clients that the best way to breathe is by practicing diaphragmatic breathing. I believe the best way to breathe is by using the most parts of yourself needed for the task at hand. In other words, if you're running into the street to catch your dog who's running in front of a car, you're going to need much different muscles than if you're hunched over a computer or writing an essay. Hence, you want all of your breathing muscles, back, sides, front, up, top, bottom, to be available to you. Okay, so pause with the chest breathing. And if it's comfortable for you, you can put that hand onto your belly and the other hand on your chest. But once again, if this is painful, then you could modify. And what we're going to do next is we're going to inhale and expand your chest on the inhale. Let your chest hand rise. And on the exhale, you're going to expand the belly. So the belly hand rises. I want you to think through this before you actually do it. So one hand rises on the inhale, and the other hand expands on the exhale. As you inhale, your chest hand rises up towards the sky. As you exhale, your chest hand falls back down as your belly hand rises. Equal and opposite timing. Now, for most people, this is super confusing. And so if you get confused or if it feels like it's locked together, just try it once or twice and then pause, think through the motion, and then do it. And because your body is so wise, it learns very quickly the proper way to do this new coordination pattern. You could do a few more breaths, or you could take a break. Try it one more time. And when you're ready, go ahead and take a rest. Let your arms rest wherever they would like. Let your legs go long, or you could keep them bent. Go ahead and bend your knees once again. Stand them a comfortable distance from your pelvis. And if it's comfortable, go ahead and put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Now I want you to actually think through the next motion before you actually do it. We're going to combine the pelvic tilts with the seesaw breathing. So what that means is that as you inhale your chest, your pelvis rolls gently upwards. And as you exhale, your belly expands and your pelvis rolls downward. Once again, think through that motion a couple more times, and I'll repeat that as you inhale, you're going to expand your chest and your pelvis rolls gently upwards. As you release, your belly expands, your chest hand falls, and your pelvis rolls downwards. As you push through your feet, you roll your pelvis up, your chest hand expands. As you release, you exhale your belly, and your belly rolls downward. Go ahead and do this whenever you're ready. Remember, as you roll up, your back flattens. And as you release, your back gently arches away from the floor. Allow your head and neck simply to be carried. Allow your eyes to soften. Allow your face to soften. Inhale fully into your chest. Exhale, release. Let the breath flow down to your belly. It's like waves of an ocean. Remembering not to force anything. Remembering to take a pause at any time. Inhale, your chest hand expands. Exhale, your chest hand falls. And as you do this motion, notice if your head is gently tilting upwards. And then as you release your pelvis, if there's a gentle pull on your head and neck, that pulls your head down. Have it feel really good, almost as if you're giving yourself a massage on your back. Remembering to allow your lips to part gently as they may. Relaxing your entire nervous system. Does your jaw want to stay together, pierced? Or does it want to separate? Which way feels better? Do 3 or 4 more times in your own rhythm, at your own pace. It's amazing how fast the body learns new coordination patterns. You're already breathing so much fuller than you were before this lesson. And your body's also becoming really connected from your head all the way down to your feet. You will really feel this when you stand up. And do one more and make this a really full, big one using all the parts of yourself. And on the exhale, completely let everything go. Let your arms and legs relax completely. Put your arms wherever is most comfortable. Put your legs wherever is most comfortable. And now is the fun part where you get to notice all the shifts that have occurred within inside yourself. The seesaw breathing lesson you could also do while you're sitting up. Just the breathing as opposed to with the pelvis. So for instance, if you're stuck in traffic and you feel tension and tightness coming on, just try the alternating breathing. Expanding your chest, expanding your belly. So what parts of yourself are you breathing with right now? And what parts of yourself move as you breathe? Notice how much more expansive your chest is. And at this point, you have two options. You could either lie here and take a nap, or you could slowly come up and walk around and enjoy this newfound expansion inside of you as you go on through your day. Thank you.